You are now tuned in to the 411 for your fantasy football with your host, Autumn Wind Williams.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Autumn Wind Williams. You're now tuned into the 411 for your fantasy football. I'm here to provide you 3 different tight ends I'm considering putting in my lineups, and you might want to consider them yourself. We're only, 3 days away from kickoff, Thursday night football. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Houston Texans. That's going to be a very interesting game after we witnessed the playoffs where Texans was up ahead and thought they were going to win a game, and all of a sudden Kansas City Chiefs just fired back. They did that all through the playoff. Played from behind. It was like they was giving people a head start to do their thing, and then bam. So they deserve to be the champions. You know, they earned it, and let's see if they would be able to do it this year. It's going to be an interesting year with all this COVID going on, and we didn't get to see any preseason games, so it's a little bit difficult for us with DFS, who we put in our lineups. We got to pay close attention to Twitter because people can be out for a whole entire team can be out because of COVID, or both teams. So it's going to be very risky putting our money anywhere on FanDuel, DraftKings, Monkey Knife Fight, Yahoo, whatever you play. It's going to be very difficult. And the ones that's going to win these lineups is the ones that's paying attention and doing their research, following the beat writers, just looking for all type of headlines, updates. If you're just blindly picking guys, you're shortening your chances of winning. You know, I gotta win this Millie Maker, man. But anyway, let's check out what's been going on around the league these few hours since the last time I made a video. Let's see, the Steelers and Cam Hayward are finalizing a 4-year agreement for $71 million, over $71 million actually. Jaguars signed former wide receiver from the Washington football team, Trey Quinn, to their practice squad to reunite with Jay Gruden. I'm surprised it's just a practice squad because the guy, I think he got potential. He's likely going to probably make their lineup this year. Dolphins named Fitzpatrick their quarterback for week 1, which we already expected. Actually, I think I mentioned that yesterday. Excuse me for that. But Damian Harris still on the sidelines, absent from practice. It looked like it's going to be a while for Armstead to play for the Jaguars. Okay, Brashad Perryman feeling a lot better. Lions plays Bo Scarborough on IR. Rule expecting Ian Thomas to play week 1. I know a lot of people have been tweeting about Ian Thomas lately too, at tight end. Speaking of tight end, since this is for the video, AJ Green, hamstring, full go for Sunday. We'll see about that. I got him in my sleeper league, and I'm telling you, last year he was a disappointment. The reason why I didn't go deep in the playoffs. Matt Patricia on Adrian Peterson will be used this weekend, this Sunday. And we'll see. The expectation he's getting, he gets plenty of run on that. And Antonio Gibson, Devine Exigbo are 2 running backs that are entering the season to improve fantasy outlooks. That's not nothing new. Everybody's already targeting those guys. We know that. Let's see. What else? Couple veterans. Cornerbacks placed on IR. Eli Apple on ER with a hamstring. Gary and Conley on IR with an ankle. Traders placed Marcus Mariota on an IR. Trey Burton on IR with a calf. Wow, that's going to get Jack Doyle. That's an opportunity right there for Jack Doyle. That's another one to consider that I don't have listed as far as what my 3 on for this video at tight end. Doyle would be a good pick. because Rivers do target his tight ends. Okay, Patriots have signed running back J.J. Taylor from their practice squad, placed Damian Harris on IR. Oh, so now he's on IR, and they brought up J.J. Taylor. I'm still thinking James White, Rex Burkhead. I'm ignoring the noise. You know, even when Damian Harris was the talk for chalk, I've been saying James White, Rex Burkhead. Okay, let's see what else. You know football is back when you're getting practice injury reports. Of course. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce was limited at practice with a knee injury. Oh, Kelce might not be a go for Thursday, but you know, that guy's tough. But the last but not least, very interesting news. I was like one of the first people tweeting about this guy this past week when everybody was all over the same two running backs, Chris Thompson and Armstead from the Jaguars. I kept saying their draft pick, unsigned rookie free agent, James Robinson. He is now the starting running back. So you might want to put him in your lineup. I think what, $4,000 on DraftKings. But let's get on with the three guys I said I have to consider putting in my lineups for tight end. First, I'm going with Zach Ertz versus the Washington football team. Last year, they gave up the fourth most fantasy points to tight ends, and nearly everybody on their podcast are targeting Deshaun Jackson since Alshon Jeffries, Miles Sanders questionable, and the rookie Jalen Reagor is doubtful for week 1. And so that's going to limit the different passers that Carson Wentz has to throw to. You might say Goddard, but I'm going with Zach Ertz. He's more of a dominant tight end. And, you know, my concern is Dallas Goedert is going to take away from him as far as with the end zone targets like we saw in 2019. But I just feel like he's more of a dominant guy. Carson Wentz trusts him a lot more. Ertz was just one of the 4 tight ends that averaged 14 fantasy points per game above the threshold. So I just feel comfortable playing him in my lineups, stacking with Carson Wentz. As far as the second tight end I have is Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki has scored 5 touchdowns over the past 8 games. That's ranked tied 4th most in the NFL by tight ends. The Patriots have allowed 6 touchdowns to tight ends over the same time frame, which ranked 4th most also. Last season, he caught 51 receptions on 89 targets and got 570 yards. That's an average of 11.2 yards per catch with 5 touchdowns. So it appears to me that Ryan Fitzpatrick has trust in throwing Mike Gesicki the ball. Per Pro Football Focus, there's a very good chance this season as the top tight end in the league. Now, that's a lot to say right there. For them to say he's going to be the top tight end in the league, I'm going to give him opportunity in being in my lineups. Last tight end I have is Hayden Hurst. Hurst will be an every down tight end because he's basically the only one they have now. Kyrie Lee was cut from the Falcons on an injury settlement. Carson Mier was waived last month, and Garrett Pinkney, he was signed to the practice squad just this morning. So Hayden Hurst is going to be out on every single down. That's opening more opportunity for him to do that damn thing and get in the end zone once or twice. And, you know, it's just a no-brainer when it comes to playing this guy in fantasy. And when it's a high-projected game against the Seahawks, who last year gave up the 3rd most fantasy points to tight ends. And we saw how the Falcons used Austin Hooper last year, and he got 97 targets last year. So I'm expecting a Hayden Hurst to get a lot of opportunity on that field. You know, he's projected by Pro Football Focus simulations to finish 2020 with almost 70 targets, 50 receptions, and 560 yards with 4 touchdowns, and I'll take the over on that. So that's what I have for you guys with my 3 tight ends. We got Zach Ertz against the Washington football team, Mike Gesicki versus the New England Patriots, and Hayden Hurst versus the Seattle Seahawks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow below. Follow me on Twitter at the 411DFS. And you know what? I might be back on here later on. I'm going to be in the family league for it's a snake draft on ESPN. This is the first time my family is actually getting involved with fantasy football. My little brother, he set this up yesterday. Just wanted to see if we were interested. You know, something for the family to do while we're on quarantine mode due to COVID-19. So that's going to be pretty fun this year, to have my family involved and see how do they draft. My little sister and my mom's playing, and my sister-in-law, I didn't think these ladies would ever get into no fantasy football. But we're going to see about that. So I might be back on here on YouTube to provide a video of the action going on with the fantasy draft. Until then, this is Otto Williams. Y'all stay safe and blessed. I'm out. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 411 Podcast. Now get ready to make that money. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 411 DFS.